Hey guys, it's Kate. Today I am sharing 3 lessons I learned from Dave Ramsey about saving money. The first lesson that I've learned from Dave Ramsey that has totally changed my entire money life is budgeting every month, but not just having a budget every month, having a unique written budget every single month that I just tweak. For me, it wasn't enough to just have a budget in theory. If you've seen my air quotes before when talking about a budget, maybe you've seen my video called 5 Reasons Your Budget Sucks. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to encourage you to watch it later. I will leave it on the end screen when you're done this video. If you don't like that video, then you probably won't like me. I'm just giving you a heads up. I feel like that video is the essence of me. It's totally my vibe. It's totally my humor. And I hope that it's your humor also. Watch that one at the end. Don't even think about it again until the end screen. Back before I was introduced to Dave Ramsey, I thought it was enough to just know basically what my expenses were. And I mean, that's more than even some. Some people don't want to look at it, but I'm going to tell you what, in my experience, you guys, this monthly written budget that is unique to every month, you have it ready before the next month starts. It has allowed me to save more money than I ever really thought was imaginable as a single parent. When I became a single parent, it was terrifying. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to figure something out here. Once I got into the habit of doing this every month, first of all, it's super easy. And second of all, I take great pleasure in it. I know some of you might be like, okay, Kate, you love budgeting. But I do. I love budgeting. It has been the key to reducing stress. It's been the key to results. And it's been the key to me feeling like I have control of my finances and I'm not confused and I'm not wasteful because I know exactly where every dollar is going. The other big part of that was using EveryDollar, which is a Dave Ramsey tool. You do not have to use EveryDollar. It's completely free, by the way. But when I first started using it, it feels to me like pen and paper, but on my screen. Really user-friendly, very simple. I have a tutorial. Just type in KSquad, EveryDollar, and you will find them on how to set it up if you're interested. Once you have created your first budget, and let's say you are using EveryDollar or paper, whichever way, all you have to do is tweak every single month based on what's going on. And I've talked about this endlessly in some other videos. If you look at my budgeting playlist, I give a lot of details. But in the interest of this video, I want you to know it doesn't take a lot of time. It's really a short investment of time once you get in the swing of it. Every month when I'm setting up my new budget, I think it probably takes me maybe 10 to 15 minutes because I just look at what's going on in the month. Oh, okay, Caden's gonna have school pictures this month. Oh, okay, it's Caden's fundraiser. Oh, okay, I have to register my car this month. Oh, okay, I'm planning for the holidays. Whatever it is, adjusting to that month has made all the difference. And it's become so easy and smooth and effective. I can't express my gratitude enough for him encouraging this and for me to go, let's at least try this because it has worked for me. And I'm just super grateful. And again, I like it. I have a friend, by the way, that loves the winter and loves shoveling snow. And when she first told me, I thought, what is wrong with you? And maybe you're looking at me that way right now. Kate, you love budgeting? What's wrong with you? And all I'm gonna say is give it a try and definitely check out my budgeting playlist if you're interested in how to set it up. The second thing I learned from Dave Ramsey is the value of getting out of bad debt, getting rid of credit card debt, student loans, car payments, basically everything but the house. When I met Dave Ramsey, in other words, when I was introduced to him, I had a car that I was leasing. And after I read the Total Money Makeover, and by the way, I didn't even read it. I listened to the audiobook for free on YouTube. It was available back then. And when I heard the whole section about leasing a car, I was like, oh no. And it was starting to bother me. I was like, okay, I got to get this monkey off my back. What am I going to do? And I was able to save up as a single parent $20,000 plus my $10,000 emergency fund that I had at the time to pay off that car in full. So I no longer had car debt. If you're interested in that, I'll also leave a video at the end of this one to check out. I actually have 3 videos on that, so I'll leave it all in the description and on the end screen for you. The power of getting out of debt and not feeling like you owe anybody anything. Nothing sitting on your shoulders. Sorry, my cat is down here, so I'm just petting him. Hey. Not having any debt besides my house feels awesome. Next is probably the house for me. That's a big debt. The house payment's a big one, but I am willing and excited to chip away at that so eventually I can knock that down to 0. I can't even imagine how that's gonna feel. Let me know in the comments. Have you paid off your house? Tell me, how did that feel? I wanna know, because when I get to that goal, I'm going to be really pumped, because just the excitement of paying off my car was really exciting. Imagine paying off the house. I can't even imagine, but for me to have a preview, please leave me in the comments how it felt. Was it amazing? Was it as great as I think it's going to be? The reason this is so great and why this helps us save money, right, is because then you're going to be able to use that money for other things. So think back when I had a $300 car payment every month. That's $300 that now I am investing. I'm putting it in my Roth IRA or wherever I'm putting that. But when you have that money freed up, you can put it toward more productive things than debt. I used to think it's just not that big a deal, and that's what people do. But after listening to Dave, I'm like, oh, I don't really have to live that way. Getting out of debt will allow me to use that money toward things that I want even more later. Now, truth be told, there's nothing more in this world I wanted than this house, okay? So let's get that straight. And if you ever saw my video about what I happily pay for each month, it is the house. It has been a life changer and I'm so gracious for it. So I happily pay the mortgage. But what happens when I don't have to pay the mortgage anymore? Think about how much your mortgage costs and how great it would be to either invest that money or put it in savings and put it toward the next adventure. Getting out of debt frees up so much money and just seriously feels so great. The third lesson that I learned about saving money from Dave Ramsey, which has, especially after 2020, completely changed up my money game, is saving that emergency fund. Without Dave's encouragement and reading the Total Money Makeover and listening to, some of his podcasts and following up on his website, knowing about the 7 baby steps, and that baby step 3, if you're not familiar, baby step 1 is building a baby emergency fund of $1,000. Baby step 2 is paying off all your debt except your house. And step 3 is to save 3 to 6 months for an emergency fund, so that if anything happens, and stuff happens, my gosh, we know stuff happens. People lose jobs, pandemics occur. I mean, the options are endless of what could happen. But if you have an emergency fund that you have saved, and let me just tie this into my channel of frugal living. If you have practiced any of the frugal living tips, any of those speak to you, and you're able to save money where it doesn't matter and put the money toward the things that do, having that peace of mind, you guys, is, in my mind, priceless. If you save up that 3 to 6 months, some people even save up to a year, then the world is kind of at your fingertips. Like, if you are miserable in your job, you can leave for a little bit until you get the next job. The freedom that the emergency fund buys you, in theory, like I said, not to be redundant, but priceless. The fact that you can sleep at night, not worry about, am I going to make next month's rent, next month's mortgage? It's invaluable. Hey, buddy. If you don't have an emergency fund yet and you want to talk more about it, Type in KSquad emergency fund. I've done several videos on it, including my survival budget. It's definitely something to consider if you've never thought about it before, or maybe you have a little bit of an emergency fund started and you want to beef it up a little bit. Watch any of those videos for a little bit of inspiration. I think it's worth it. And here's like a little fourth bonus lesson that I've learned from the Dave Ramsey philosophy in general. Baby step 7 is build wealth and give. His whole goal with his baby step program is so the end result is that you live and give like no one else. And that, to me, just his overarching message of what he's hoping your end result is, if you don't have any debt hanging over your head and you've built up your emergency fund, and by the way, baby step number 4, putting 15% into your retirement. Baby step 5 is putting money aside for college for your children if you have children. Baby step 6 is paying off the house. I really want that. And baby step 7, like I just said, is build wealth and give. And in the end, who doesn't want that? You know what I mean? Like the overarching message of living a life that's super fulfilling, but also being able to give as much as you can. I love it. I love that message. I've just said all the great lessons I've learned from Dave, and truth be told, there's more than that. But there are 3 ways that I disagree with Dave Ramsey. And if you're interested in that, I will leave that here on the end screen if you want to see the 3 ways that I do not follow Dave Ramsey. But overall, I've learned a ton from him, and I'm super gracious for all the good information. By following these 3 lessons and putting them into practice, I have been able to pay off my car, purchase a home, still paying it off, but getting into position where I could do that. I have a whole playlist on that if you want to check that out. I've been able to build up an emergency fund so I don't feel panic. Overall, I feel relatively in control of my finances as a single working parent. If you like this kind of content, please hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, and if you've got a hoodie budget for fall and winter, check out my store. These are seriously so cozy and warm. I'm not just saying it because it has my stuff on it. I love them. I have many of them. And if you do end up getting any of my hoodies, t-shirts, anything from my merch store, please send me a picture either to my email, which is down below, or social media. If you don't mind, I will share with the whole KSquad. I appreciate your support so much. Thank you in advance if you are going to get any of my merch. And to all those that already have, thank you so much. Every time I see a new sale, I am so touched and appreciative, so thank you. If you've ever read or watched any Dave Ramsey content, what your best lesson was that you learned from the information that he has shared, I love reading your comments. I will leave some videos here and here for you to watch next. I hope you enjoy them and have an awesome week, everyone, until I see you next time. Bye.